You have probably seen the memes already, and you are probably already sick of it at this point. I don't blame you. But like all jokes, is there some sort of truth behind it? Could Cabba, the Universe 6 Saiyan from Dragon Ball Super, easily defeat the cumulative strength and potential of Goku and Vegeta in Super Saiyan 4? Now wait, before you type in your preemptive arguments in the comments down below and complain how Dragon Ball fans are hypocrites for this debate, or how you think one character is obviously stronger than the other, I think we need to address a few problems that many of the other videos that YouTubers made on this topic failed to discuss. So sit back and relax, because I promise you this video will not be like the other videos where you see me only using math to justify my reasoning. I will use numbers, yes, but only to provide some value and also criticism regarding this debate, because a lot of people are overlooking the bigger picture and problem with this discussion. So a quick runaround for people who are confused why this topic is even a debate. The main reason is simply a line of dialogue. Yes, this line of dialogue has set the entire fanbase into frenzy. During the Tournament of 6 arc, Vegeta fights Cabba, and during their clash, Vegeta states they're equal in normal form. Now, I agree with everyone who said that Vegeta has no reason to lie here. So based on this one encounter, one can infer the following: that since Cabba and Vegeta are equal in base, then Cabba is at the very least equal to God Goku from Battle of Gods, at the very least, since Goku was stated in the movie to absorb the power of Super Saiyan God in his base form. Furthermore, in the Resurrection of F movie, Akira Toriyama expands on this by saying Goku and Vegeta have trained to the point where they no longer need to use Super Saiyan God, as they can use the powers of Super Saiyan God form in their base. However, we must also note the fact that Akira Toriyama did not plan the future of Dragon Ball from this point. He has admitted to himself multiple times that he had no idea where the show was going. This lack of planning from Toei Animation staff as well reflected in 2015, when they announced the return of Dragon Ball Super anime. During the movie, Akira Toriyama, who is directly involved, made it abundantly clear on the following. 1. The Super Saiyan God transformation is a rival to Beerus, and the whole concept behind the movie is Beerus finding someone close to his power. 2. That Beerus was mentioned to use 70% of his power. It was said by Toriyama in an interview and Whis himself in the movie. As such, there was also no reason to lie to the fans, not from Whis, not from Akira Toriyama. However, this was in the movie, and the reason why I'm saying this is because the anime follows the plotline of the movie almost closely. Well, I say almost, with very little differences. Beerus was also mentioned to use 10% of his strength against an angry Vegeta, who managed to actually get a few hits on the God of Destruction. But fast forwarding to the Resurrection of F arc, it was stated that despite unlocking Super Saiyan Blue, Goku and Vegeta had yet to surpass Beerus. However, they were mentioned to be able to take him down should they work together. Now you're asking, why am I mentioning all of this? Because it is important for everyone to watch this and understand the core issue. If you don't understand what the issue here, let me spell it out for you. The power scaling is inconsistent because of the lack of planning. I'm also inclined to believe, based on this, Cabba could either simply be equal to the regular base form of Vegeta that is heavily suppressed, or he is truly the Saiyan that Beerus should have dreamt about all this time, because Cabba at this point should be way stronger than SSJ God Goku if we believe the line of Vegeta. However, to be completely fair, let's take these statements at face value and say that Cabba is a potential universe buster, and he is at the very least stronger than SSJ God Goku in the Battle of Gods movie, who absorbed the power of Super Saiyan God, meaning he's equal to God Essence Vegeta and Goku in Resurrection of F. So let's upscale Cabba and not take away anything from him. However, regardless of the inconsistencies mentioned, we will assume Cabba, the Saiyan with little experience and never unlocked Super Saiyan prior to meeting Vegeta, is equal to God base mode Goku and Vegeta. But does he still stack up against Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta?
Pop out with gang, pop out with gang, pop out with gang, hop out with gang, pop out with gang, pop out.
Without mentioning any names, I have seen people try to explain this on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, and honestly, I am embarrassed by their oversight on this topic. Now, I am by no means claiming myself to be the expert here, or having the authority on Dragon Ball. I am just like you, a fan. However, what I believe is different about me is the angle and approach I take based on the observation that people have neglected. Like I said, we are going to upscale Cabba and use Vegeta's early statement as gospel in order to properly convey this. With Gogeta, however, I will do the opposite.
NANI?
Yes, with Gogeta, I'll be a little unfair with him because if we upscale him, this wouldn't be a contest whatsoever. And you will understand why if you watch this video. So again, before you comment down below, please watch the video. First things first, a lot of you either never watched GT or watched it once and don't remember it, because GT characters are far stronger than you think. For starters, most of you know that Goku's base in GT is an absolute joke. Toei Animation made Goku way too strong in GT, that in his base form alone, he absolutely demolishes literally everything. A lot of you guys are familiar with the famous line of Goku saying Rildo's stronger than Buu, and like a lot of GT feats, this line has been downplayed to Goku referring to the weakest version of Buu, which is the fat counterpart. Even though Goku himself refers to all the Majin Buus as Buu, names like Buhan, Butanks, and Kid Buu are either fan terms or video game terms to differentiate them apart. However, let's downplay Goku here as well, and say he meant either Kid Buu or Fab Buu. Goku still handles Rildo pretty easily in his base form. Now, big deal you might say. Kid Goku's slightly stronger than SSJ4 Goku in Z. No. Goku was shown in the baby arc to blitz through Goten and Gohan in his base form. This Gohan isn't weaker. The GT Perfect Files clearly states Gohan didn't stop his training and can stack up Super Saiyan on his ultimate form, meaning this Gohan is at the very least 100 times stronger than his Z counterpart. But again, let's say he isn't, because we don't like GT, and we can't let them have nice things. Let's downplay Goku again, and say he's simply SSJ4 in this. We are using a low-end GT here, even though at this point we practically proved Goku's potentially thousands of times stronger than his Z counterpart in his base form. Later on, in the same arc, we see Goku trapped in a place that is explained to be between time and space, a completely different realm that expands to no end. Can you guess what base Goku did here? Yes, he busts through it with a Kamehameha. This in itself at best makes Goku universal, and at worst makes him as strong as Super Buu. But let's say this Goku is as strong as Super Buu for performing a similar feat. Again, downplaying Goku. During the Super 17 arc, Majin, who prior to fusing with Buu practically gets one-shotted by Super 17. Oob scales to base Goku in GT, so for Goku to come and perform so much better than Majin, the fusion of Oob and Majin Buu, in Super Saiyan would be at the very least makes Goku 8 times stronger. Again, I'm using a low-end Goku here. This is the same arc where Rildo comes back from the dead and almost defeats Ultimate Gohan, but gets one-shotted by Majin. Additionally, we saw movie characters making a cameo in Dragon Ball GT. This in itself could make Goku boundless if we choose to believe that the movies take place in the GT timeline. The reason behind that is that Cooler exists in GT, and if he truly does, and it's the same Cooler, Goku was shown to perform an insane feat, where he fights Cooler in speeds faster than light, as he's able to move, track, and react while he's in instantaneous movement. This means his speed is infinite to possibly irrelevant, as he's able to travel, move, and react in 0 time. At worst, Goku's fighting speed is infinite, and at best, it's irrelevant, as he's so fast that it doesn't even matter. If you thought that was ridiculous, in the Fusion Reborn movie, Goku was shown to perform a feat so insane that not many people paid attention to, as when he fights Janemba, Goku shakes the afterlife by his aura alone, being able to affect a realm that is transcendental in size, as every universe in the macrocosm is described to be infinite and the other world is stated to be beyond the concept of space and time in the Super Exciting Guide, a realm that transcends the mortal universe. Goku in Super Saiyan 3 at the very least shook a universe-scale world by just powering up. However, like I said, we're going to say that these are all outliers and don't count them because we hate Dragon Ball GT and we don't want to make it easy for Gogeta here. So let's say the movies are not necessarily canon to Dragon Ball GT and movie villains making an appearance is just an Easter egg, downplaying any conceivable advantage for Gogeta. So at this point, any argument you make against me is invalid, because I'm simply mentioning what the high-end feat for GT characters could be. I'm not using it against the comically, hilariously powerful Cabba. I swear guys, if you just pay attention to Dragon Ball, you would realize who the actual broken character is here. But I digress, because this doesn't end here. Now, the biggest issue in this debate is how people downplay the Super Saiyan 4 multiplier. I have seen it for years, because even if you want to say that base Goku is not as strong as base Cabba, which is valid, you cannot downplay the Super Saiyan 4 multiplier. Like I said, I have seen it for years, and I have no idea how people think that the SSJ4 multiplier is just a 10 times multiplier. This is not true, and not stated anywhere. It was only downplayed to be as such because the Uzora form was stated by Vegeta to be a 10 times multiplier. However, if we pay attention to the series, we would realize Goku's power-up gave him a 4 million times power-up at the very least. That is because baby Vegeta was stated in the GT Perfect Files to receive 1,000 times the normal amount of Blitz Wave. And since the normal amount multiplies your power by 10, then this means Golden Uzaro Baby got a 10,000 times boost to simply compete with SSJ4 Goku. And we all know, prior to going Golden Ape, baby Vegeta wrecked a Super Saiyan 3 Goku. And that is why the multiplier is 4 million at the very least. And even if you choose to not believe this multiplier and also call this an outlier because you hate GT, let's not forget that the true definition of Super Saiyan 4 is that it's a form that is a limit breaker form, taking the user to their physical prime. That is why Goku reverts to an adult using Super Saiyan 4, not because of the insane power-up, because of the type of transformation. The form forces his body to grow to his absolute strongest physical body. If you have watched Hunter x Hunter, then this is not too dissimilar to Gon, who forced his body to age by unlocking his full potential. This means Super Saiyan 4 shouldn't even be a multiplier. It should be treated as the ultimate Super Saiyan transformation. Again, this is not glaze. I am neither reaching or using headcanon. This is information that is accessible to anyone who has internet. But again, because we hate GT, we won't use the 4 millions time multiplier, but we're going to mention that Super Saiyan 4 Goku managed to survive a move that works like Hakai. When baby Vegeta uses his Revenge Death Ball, he states that this move atomizes you and destroys you on the molecular level, and that even your soul will be destroyed and you won't be able to be wished back by the Dragon Balls. This attack is basically the Hakai. Goku not only tanks it head on, but with his sheer strength, he manages to tank it and defuse it without suffering much damage. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean baby Vegeta is as strong as Beerus, but the Super Saiyan 4 transformation is very strong that even games like Xenoverse, Whis has this to say.
It's a bit different from your God form. What is that form?
It's Super Saiyan 4. Want me to show my power?
That form, it's wonderful. I think you'd make a perfect God of Destruction.
Stop it. It's not for me.
In Super Dragon Ball Heroes, the Super Saiyan 4 transformation is also seen to go blow for blow against Super Saiyan Blue. But to be fair, this is Xeno Goku and he's broken, so again, I won't use him. Neither will I use video game statements. Therefore, if you follow through this video, I am heavily downplaying every conceivable advantage that automatically makes Gogeta stronger. Because even if we take the lowest end feat for Gogeta Super Saiyan 4, it would still be hard to argue that Cabba would stomp him. Let's not forget that the fusion multiplier in Dragon Ball GT is different than Super. While Super is A plus B multiplied by 10 of times according to Whis. The guides suggest, however, that the people who fuse their power are multiplied by each other. So again, and even if you want to downplay this and say Dragon Ball Super retcon GT, you would inadvertently suggest that GT takes place after Super in the same timeline. And if that's the case, you yourself are admitting that GT is stronger than Super by proxy. Not my words, yours. I did not say that. Let's not forget, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is light years stronger than Omega Shenron, and Omega Shenron has universal feats as he planned to destroy the universe. In fact, the only way to dispose of him is to summon the Universal Spirit Bomb. And before you downplay the Universal Spirit Bomb, let's not forget Kid Buu was killed by a planetary Spirit Bomb. So does that mean Kid Buu is planet level only? Of course not. My point here is that defeating Omega Shenron with a Universal Spirit Bomb is not a metric to scale how Gogeta was strong, because Gogeta would still be multiversal at the very least, as the guide suggests that Gogeta would have destroyed Omega Shenron with just one finger. And if we apply the Super Saiyan 4 boost, Gogeta would be hyperversal, if not more at the very least, as Super Saiyan 4 is a transformation that takes the user to their physical prime. So basically, we are looking at the strongest version of Gogeta that could ever exist.
And now some people will try to bring out the fact that the difference power isn't that large between the two.
Gogeta literally forced Omega Shenron to go back to Sen Shenron, meaning the Dragon Balls that Omega Shenron had revived him and kept him alive. The dude basically had two life stocks. The second attack would have killed him for sure. Cabba has one single line of dialogue that made us upscale him to be as strong as base Vegeta, and Goku, who according to the official material harnessed the power of Super Saiyan God in their base and potentially got stronger. Now, the thing you need to know about God mode, we don't have an official multiplier to how powerful it is, but we know at the very least it should be stronger than SSJ4, Goku, and Z, and possibly stronger than Vegeta due to Goku saying fusion won't work. However, it must be mentioned that Goku could not sense God Ki, and his assessment was based on the beating he got. So we don't know for sure if Vegeta could have done as good or worse. But regardless on that, Goku needed God mode to surpass his Z counterpart, while in GT he has a mountain of feats that puts him above Super Saiyan 3 in his base.
But I want to reiterate, because I'm not here trying to build a case for GT to be stronger than Super characters. In fact, if you choose to believe Goku in Dragon Ball Super is stronger than GT, that's fine by me. Or if you want to say the opposite, it's also fine by me. My main issue here, however, is neither of those. Because if you remember what I mentioned early in this video, there is a bigger issue with this debate that no one has talked about. Usually, there are two types of fans. Ones that embrace this meme and just find it hilarious, which is fine, and there is another fan who takes it seriously and hyper-analyze it in every aspect of it like we just did, which is fine by the way. But we have to meet somewhere in the middle and discuss the third issue here. And it's not the fans. I have no problem with Dragon Ball fans like others in the community. Instead of venting out our frustration against each other, we need to understand that Dragon Ball Super was poorly planned. And no, this has nothing to do with me not wanting Cabba to be this strong. We had many strong characters in Dragon Ball Z and we could accept it just fine. Had the show took a few years to properly develop and give time for the manga to mature and develop, we wouldn't have contradicting statements. Because let me tell you something, the Dragon Ball fanbase has no issue disregarding statements like these, statements that suggest Beerus is clearly not stronger than Goku. Oh, the mountain of evidence that the Dragon Ball fandom either ignores or just bury, or just use other statements to justify how Beerus is this strong. Again, I'm not trying to open the Beerus debate here, so don't waste your breath in the comments. I'm not going to waste my time with you in the comments down below. In fact, if I see you comment anything regarding that, I will know that you're the exact type of Dragon Ball fan who misses the bigger picture. Because regardless of feats, power scale, the writing needs to establish a level of consistency. And before you comment and say power scaling is for nerds and whoever wins depends on the author, yeah, that's for dog shit writing like comic books. In Dragon Ball that was never the case. And please do not let me explain to you in detail that power scaling is basically the plot of Dragon Ball. Because without a proper power scaling, you won't have a proper story. If you do not understand this simple concept, then you won't understand the show. I'm 100% sure that Cabba simply needed to be this strong because the show heavily relies on Goku and Vegeta as main characters. And I don't think that Toei Animation understand how ridiculously powerful Goku and Vegeta are. And having anyone that can trade blows with them would immediately mean that they're basically god levels of power. A power that Goku said
he would never have gained if he didn't go through a ritual to obtain this power. Basically, a power that Saiyans cannot acquire in natural means. Guys, I'm not here trying to put down Dragon Ball Super simply because of this debate. In fact, a lot of the issues in Dragon Ball Super can be applied to Dragon Ball GT as well. But I hope you can be mature enough to realize that Cabba has no business to be fighting with base Vegeta equally. This would have been fixed if Goten and Trunks were in the show more often. Let Goten and Trunks fight guys like Cabba and use this to develop both characters instead of just relying on Goku and Vegeta, who acquired god powers that makes them scale closely to Beerus. Well, at least scale close to Beerus back to when the show just began. This is the result of heavily focusing on Goku and Vegeta, like I said. So you, as a show, can either do what GT did and let Goku steamroll through everyone in his base form, or make Goku struggle through everyone to manufacture story tension and stakes in your narrative. I think either or is bad. If you look at DBZ, they heavily focused on Gohan, Vegeta, and even Krillin early on. Goku was used as a last measure to come and save the day. In fact, Goku doesn't even lose in DBZ that often, and most of his losses are technical rather than being blatantly overpowered. Goku's usually removed from the plot many times because of his competence as a fighter. Akira Toriyama knew that, and focused on the side characters instead. Dragon Ball Super, on the other hand, focuses too much on Goku, and are afraid to make him too strong even though he is. The whole concept of the show is that Goku tapped into a well of power that is called God Mode, that not even training according to him could have gotten him there. Guys, you could disagree with what I say, as what I'm saying is subjective to my own experiences and outlook. But one thing that is hard to dispute is that Super was poorly planned. That's not Akira Toriyama's fault. That's not the animator's fault. It's the higher-ups who sacrificed quality for quantity. It all goes back to money and greed. The show could have been much better with love and care like the original DBZ. But that does not mean that I hate Dragon Ball Super or that I hate the Universe 6 Saiyans. And you will notice that I never once criticized how they easily unlocked Super Saiyan on this video. In fact, I do enjoy seeing more Saiyans with ridiculous powers in the show. My main issue, however, is the show trying to shoehorn Goku and Vegeta to fighting every new character and making these new characters scale to them. And that is because of the heavily reliance on these two from the show. Cabba is very strong though. Whether he does scale to God-based Vegeta or not, he proved his strength in the Torment of Power. But honestly, he doesn't have that much going on for him if you want to argue Cabba and Gogeta Super Saiyan 4. However, if you want to argue Cabba and Omega Shenron, that's a different story. Or if you want to argue Cabba versus Goku base in GT, then this is a closer fight in my own opinion. But Gogeta, who we don't even know how strong he is, that's simply a reach. But let me know what you guys think. I know this debate is old already, but I felt like I could shed some light and also criticism that a lot of the other YouTubers never addressed. But let me know what you guys think. Other than that, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.